Continuing our celebration of Mardi Gras. It's a few days away, but we're enjoying carnival season with a Gumbo Napoletano recipe. Author of The Infinite Feast, Brian Tice, joins us with this seasonal favorite. Joins us in the house.
I can't believe it. I'm not looking at you on my phone in the ring light.
Right? Yes.
Hey, Chicagoland, how are you?
We're back together again. And thank goodness, because it smells so good.
Thanks. I've been stirring this roux now for about 20 minutes, and so it's time for the next step. So you know, the Gumbo Napoletano comes from my desire to have Creole food and Italian food married together.
Perfect.
And so this is kind of like a baby between Creole gumbo and pasta vazula, basically, with Sicilian godparents, and I'll get to that in a minute. But
hey, you got a Sicilian girl right here, so
there you go.
You're getting no complaints from me.
Perfect for you. All right, so step two.
So wait, let's talk about the roux first, because I don't know the people at home all know how you made that one.
Sure, this roux is much prettier than it is if I had done it in the correct order of the recipe, because I have already done the sausage first and browned the chicken. And the chicken comes later, but we don't have time to do that.
Okay.
So anyways, this is a very pretty roux compared to if there was a lot of what they call gras doux or fond on the bottom of the pot. So
I call those the juicy little bits that you get from the pot that I love.
All kinds of names for it. That's for sure. So the next step in the recipe is to put in the Trinity. Now, this could be the Creole Trinity or the Cajun Trinity, depending on what your take is and what your dish is. But in this case, it's more of a Creole because this roux would be lighter if I hadn't been stirring it for 25 minutes. And so these go in.
Pepper, onion, celery.
Peppers, onion, and celery. Yes. And this keeps it in the Creole family. A sofrito is similar in terms of the mirepoix of the world. That's the Italian version of this, and instead of green bell pepper, you would have carrot. But we're going to add some carrot in our giardiniera, which is coming up in just a minute.
Okay.
We're going to move through this pretty quickly.
And here comes the marriage then of the...
Yes. In goes our count of four, rosemary sprigs.
And you just leave them right on the stem there?
Yep,
and pull them out later?
Okay. Pull out the stems later, absolutely. And then in go my tomatoes, right out of the can, followed closely by my chicken stock. This is really nice chicken stock, free range. We like free range chickens, right? Yes. Better than expensive range.
Trying to be healthier,
yes,
I know.
Indeed. All right, so there's that. So we've got that going on. And in goes the meat, which we've already done. The thighs, the chicken thighs, which are an ingredient in this, were boiled in this mixture for about 15 minutes, and then 2 forks, you pull the meat off the bones,
sure,
and get rid of the skin too. You don't want strained skin and floating around in your soup. And then, so it's not fully cooked, but it will be when it's done in here. So we've got our sausage and our chicken. That's
super moist,
going in,
chicken.
And we're gonna, if I can manage to work this thing, we're gonna turn this guy up. Here we go.
You did it.
And get this to boil. And in goes the giardiniera, the Chicago giardiniera, which is another reason I thought this would be an interesting recipe to do for you guys, since this is the giardiniera capital of the world. And Sicily is apparently where the dude that started giardiniera came from, like 125 years ago. He came here from Sicily, and he started the giardiniera business.
This is perfect for Chicago,
Yeah,
and I love that that's kind of what your cookbook, this Infinite Feast, it's like, it's the Big Easy and beyond, right?
It is the Big Easy and beyond. Yeah.
So the idea is that we bring a little Chicago into your Big Easy recipe.
Absolutely, and this is a WGN exclusive. It's not in my cookbook, but you can get it on the website afterwards, as everyone knows, I think. So I made it just for you guys. Isn't that pretty? I love these carrots. They're so attractive.
Oh, yeah.
So that's...
Makes it more colorful,
That's in there. We've got quite a bit going on here. It's kind of death by vegetables. or life by vegetables, I guess
Right,
would be a
yes,
better way.
life, it's healthier.
So, in case you didn't have enough vegetables, here comes your okra,
Okra.
which is a very standard ingredient when it comes to Creole gumbo, right? So that's
And
in
one
there.
I think that people don't use enough here in Chicago, so I'm glad that
It's
you're
a
giving
harder,
us that.
you know, when I first got here, I rushed to the supermarket and said, oh my God, will I find okra? And I
Right.
did.
Yes.
I had to slice it, I had to cut it. You can buy it cut, frozen in New Orleans no matter what. So, and then to finish or to start the fazool, the pasta fazool part of the recipe, in go the beans. Feel free to put the liquid in too. It is a soup after all. I like soups that are a little bit thicker.
Right. How long did that cook before it? How long did this cook before it became that consistency?
With the step with the chicken, it's 15 minutes, and everything else. I mean, the roux itself, you know, takes 15 or 20 minutes, right?
Right.
So you're looking at a little over an hour to do the whole thing. Not too bad, but it's fun. You know,
Yep.
it's
And your house will smell so good.
your house
which
will
is
smell so
even
good.
Better.
And people come back for thirds of this recipe. It was a big success. I've tried it on a couple of groups of people, and they come back over and over again and refill their bowls. In go the small shells. I like the shells because they're just so cute, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, you could use a ditalini.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I like in it.
You could use a ditalini if you wanted to be true to the standard pasta fazool,
Right.
you know, recipe. But I like the little shells because there's so much else going on in the dish. They kind of add the right little shape as far as I'm concerned. Or elbows would be nice too. I mean,
I
everyone's
feel like the shells would get some of that juice all in there,
That's
which
true.
would be good.
I mean, who doesn't have like a box of elbows sitting around in the
Right.
bottom of the pantry, right? So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because you seem like an accomplished home cook, and since that's what I do, as opposed to all the wonderful restaurant people and that are cooking
Yes,
these
yeah, I
delicious things all
love
the time.
to cook,
Yeah. How do your dogs behave when you're cooking? Are they like really like polite, or do
My
they
dogs
want
do not
food?
eat dog food. They eat our home cooked
Rocky pumpkin.
Rocky, pumpkin, and peanut.
Peanut.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah, two of them came from our Adopt-A Pet segments here. They eat home-cooked meal, you know, not with onions. Obviously, there are certain things that are bad for them. But
Right.
if we're doing the chicken thighs, I do chicken for the dogs.
That's
and so they
good.
know
Well,
that they're
lucky
getting
dogs.
it. So they sit perfectly upright while we're cooking, and they're like, I'm going to get some of that good stuff.
I love talking to people about how they cook at home. So
Yeah.
that's great. Say
Oh,
hi.
look, we've
say
got some
hi to the-
celebratory pictures.
Yeah,
You
there
brought
we
me some
go.
beads here
That's me in
to
a
get in the
parade,
celebration.
The Knights of Sparta in New Orleans the other day. I was down there parading around. So why don't we put some in
All right,
a
put some of
bowl?
that in the
There we
bowl.
go.
If you want more recipes from Brian Tice, you can visit theinfinitefeast.com. That is the cookbook. This recipe is not in it, though. This is just special for you,
So look on
our
the
viewers.
website.
WGNTV.com/midday is where you're going to find that. That looks wonderful.
A little bit of
Oh, a little bit of Parmesan cheese on there.
And a little bit of parsley, and you got yourself a deal.
Perfection.